As far as I'm aware, this is the first Japanese automaker to decide to join the dark side. What do I mean by that? Well, NACS chargers have been adopted by pretty much, about half the world's manufacturers so far in North America, but no Japanese automakers have made the commitment. Well, now that one has, it's very likely we'll see the rest follow suit. At least that's what I think anyway. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans and you're watching the Electric Viking. Honda has committed to using NACS chargers. I think there's a reason for this. I'm not really convinced this is Honda's decision. Probably sounds weird, doesn't it? However, here's the context. Who's building Honda's cars? First of all, I'm not talking about China, because in China we know it's EV manufacturers that are located in China. In North America is General Motors. So Honda just revealed within the last 48 hours its new electric car. It's essentially a Cadillac Lyric that's been restyled, different body metal, but it's got the same platform as the Cadillac Lyric. It's using the same battery packs. It's using the same motors, has the same horsepower, it has the same options. If you want dual motor, it has the same specs. If you want rear-wheel drive, same specifications. It uses GM's Cruise automation software. It's basically a General Motors vehicle. Now, General Motors plans on using NACS chargers in all of its EVs. And seeing as though it appears that Honda is getting GM to contract manufacture for the company, at least for the next 3 or 4 years, while it tries to build its own battery factory and its own EV manufacturing facility in North America, it appears as though this decision might have even been made by General Motors. Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, Honda has confirmed that its and Acura's vehicles in North America will adopt NACS, a charging connector that is obviously designed for Tesla vehicles, which now about half the automotive industry in North America have decided they will adopt for their electric cars as well. This was all started by Ford. Jim Farley said that when he had the discussion with Tesla, he thought, hell yeah, this is a great decision. This might have been kicked off from a few buyers who bought F-150 Lightnings, then made scathing YouTube videos about them, saying that they sucked because charging was terrible. They drove them to one charging network, it didn't work. They drove them to another one, it didn't work. By the time they got to the third one, their battery was almost dead. There's been reports like this where people have some significant issues getting their non-Tesla EVs to get charged, and it's really hindered EV adoption in North America. So I think Jim Farley thought, well, here's a solution. I think kudos to Farley, kudos to Ford for starting what is a revolution which will be good for the EV market. Having a standardized charger that is, a better technological choice, in my opinion, is a good thing. Honda has been expected to announce its adoption of NACS, not just because of all the momentum behind the standard, but of course because General Motors has announced it would adopt NACS in its vehicles starting in 2025, possibly even before then. Considering that Honda's next 2 electric vehicles to come to the North American market are the Prologue and the Acura ZDX, and both use GM's Ultium platform, it made sense that they would come with NACS chargers as well. So Honda has confirmed that this will in fact happen. American Honda Motor Company President and CEO Nonya Kelhara said about the change or the move to NACS. It is quite important. We have to push NACS as well. It is clear. Honda's Vice President of Honda Motor Company said, "We clearly depend on General Motors. Once they switch to NACS, this will follow to the ZDX as well." I really like that they're just saying that. They're not trying to hide it. We clearly depend on General Motors. They've basically just gone and said, yeah, this is General Motors. They're making the car and, we depend on them. That's pretty cool that they're being very transparent like that. Now, very strange decision. I mean, GM obviously is not making a profit on their EVs. Imagine how much they're selling them to Honda for. I don't really understand this strategy from Honda, but anyway, there is one benefit to this. It does mean if GM are making more platforms, more batteries, more motors, basically, it can increase supply and that will decrease its costs. I mean, if you significantly increase the number of vehicles you're manufacturing and the number of platforms you're manufacturing, that should reduce costs overall. This means a switch to NACS in 2025. However, Honda hasn't announced any deals apparently with Tesla to use their supercharger network or to get adapters in the meantime. However, this will clearly happen as American Honda's Vice President of Sustainability and Business Development basically said Tesla's supercharger network is the best option. He said, if you look at what's so great about the Tesla supercharger network, it's the maintenance. They stay on top of it. They've got someone on site monitoring the equipment. They're monitoring it electronically and remotely, and they fix it fast. That's probably the most important thing. Now, I'm not sure I agree with that. I think the most important thing is the technology doesn't need to be fixed, like CCS chargers need to be fixed every day of the week. Let's be fair, if Tesla's chargers were as crap and unreliable as those, I don't think Tesla would be able to fix them fast enough to have the reputation that they have. Tesla just came up with a much better technological solution, which is much more reliable. I think that's what it really comes down to. Sure, I'm guessing they're trying to fix them as much as possible, but so would rivals. Surely some of their rivals are doing the same thing, but they have installed a product that simply is not as good. All you need to do is look at the technology behind the NACS charging cable and the charger itself to see it's well and truly a much better option than a CCS charging cable and connector. Access to the supercharger network would definitely help EV buyers from Honda. They're going to get a better option. They're going to get an introduction to having an EV that won't have the same negatives that other companies have had to face over the last few years. Now, we're seeing a glut of EVs in North America. I'm convinced one of the reasons behind this, considering that they've come down in price enormously this year, EVs in general, more options, prices are lower, $7,500 incentive. Why is there a glut of EVs? Well, of course, there's a glut in the overall market, period. That's true. However, you would think that EVs would be selling better from rival companies to Tesla. Tesla's selling very well. Their sales are up. For example, Ford sales have done nothing, right? If anything, they're well below expectations. And I think one of the key reasons is simply the charging network. It's just given people a bad experience where they don't recommend another EV to their friends. Hopefully this changes that. And hopefully this opens the door for, the stubborn Japanese automakers to do the same thing. Tell Tesla, yeah, we want to use NACS as well, because it's just a matter of time. The longer they take, the sillier they look. That's what I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.